What is up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another live stream. My name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie, where I remind you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And today is episode or live stream number 76, and it also happens to fall on my birthday. So, yes, today is May 14th, 2022. Sounds weird, but yes, today is my birthday, and we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna switch things up, from our normal programming. If you do have any questions or any comments towards me, please put a Q in front of it so that I can easily see them in chat. And if you're new here, make sure that you say hello to the chat so that you can get the warm welcome from the Camera Junkie crew. And with that being said, let's see who's actually here in the house tonight to get things started off. All right, we have Kippy first in the house saying happy birthday to me, and I hope that I have a great birthday celebration. Thank you, thank you. I highly appreciate that. All right, let me make sure so that I can hear myself here. Okay. And we also have Melanie saying hello and happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. We have G. Albert saying, wow, over 40. You're in good company. I'll be glad when I reach your milestone. Well, yeah, right now we're at 76, so well past 40 live streams. And I think I know what you're saying, so... Mr. Moderator, the Paul Duncan, is here as well. He's saying hello to the fam. Louis Lazuka is here saying happy birthday to me, wishing me the best with much love. Thank you, thank you. And he's also saying hello to Paul, saying hello to Kippy and to Melanie as well. We have John in the house also wishing me a happy birthday. Sly saying happy birthday, young man. Hope you had a terrific day and many more to come. I actually did have a terrific day. Oh, what's going on here? Hold on. Let's check this out. Ecamm's acting a little funny with the comments here. So let's bring that back up. Boom. And yeah, we don't need those behind. We need those in front. Let's put that up there. So now this, there we go. Let's bring that up one more time. And it's still behind. Stay there. And let's lock it. And that should be good. Okay, we move on. Saying happy birthday, much love from Vancouver, Canada. Deserve the very best. Hope you spoil yourself today, and happy to spend time with me today. Thank you. What I did for my birthday is I spent the day with Aiden. I was able to give him a haircut. So let's just cut to the Aiden cam real quick, see if we can take a quick look at what we did there. So he's just hanging out there. Let's see. Can we see? Can we see what's going on here? Buddy, huh? So yeah, I was able to give Aiden a haircut, and for the first time in his short life, he did not cry. And he did not cry, and that was just amazing. He was a big boy, and we were able to do it fast, and it was a positive experience for both parties. And now he looks handsome as ever, and I was super happy. After that, we went and we got lunch. Took it easy and kind of just did my same Saturday routine, and hung out with Doc Rock and the crew in the Zoom classes for a couple of hours. Got as much work done as possible, and now I'm where I always want to be, hanging out with you amazing people on a Saturday night Camera Junkie live stream at Club Camera Junkie. There's no other place that I'd rather be. So let's get back to this. We have Dr. Charles Richards also wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you very much. Okay, and Nano here saying what's up. Tech for your needs. How are you doing, sir? All right. He's also wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you. Muchas gracias, señor. All right. Mr. Paul Duncan is saying it's party time tonight. Let's see. I think I need to get my mouse. I'm trying to use the trackpad here, but I think I'm going to have to go with the mouse to get things rolling. I would have to agree, but yeah, says Lewis, we have the best name ever. Happy birthday to you. Says light the candles and hit the thumbs up. Yes, and that's absolutely free. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you hit that like button. It is highly appreciated. All right, James Hicks is in the house saying happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday. Thank you, thank you. I highly appreciate it. Says let's see. Let's just getting through here. Okay, so we're trying to guess Charles's age here. I have no idea. So yeah, I have no idea. I say he's 30 years old. Who, my age? Are you guys trying to guess my age? My age is on the thumbnail. My age is straight up there. So, images by Gretchen. Gretchen is here as well saying happy birthday. Thank you for stopping by. Kevin Cox is also here. Tom Buck also here wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kevin, for the happy birthday wishes. Hope you had an amazing day today. I did. I hung out with my boy and just spent my time with my baby boy. All right, so we have okay, this is Dr. Omad Haddad. Let me see. That's why isn't it popping up? Saying happy birthday, many years to come. Thank you very much. I'm not familiar with your name, but thank you for, saying hi in the chat and not lurking around. I believe this is the first time that I've recognized you in the chat, so thank you for taking the time. And Melanie's giving me the thumbs up. Jim Mundy is wishing me a happy birthday as well. Gretchen is saying Taurus rules because I believe she's on the 17th, so she's just 3 days away from her birthday. And Nano, Tech for Your Needs says, yes, we do have the best names. Luis. It's funny because Luis is right up there with Juan and Jose as like the most used Hispanic names of all time. So, okay, so Sly has a question. Says, my router's starting to give me problems. Have any recommendations? I would ask you, which router is it that you're having problems with it? Is it one that you purchased yourself, or is it one that's provided through your ISP? So let me know which router we're talking about. Well, with that being said, we're kind of at the end of the chat, and I want to get your participation here, and make it fun for all parties. So I have a series of questions that they're just random from this application called Poddex. So I just put together some of my favorites here, and I just want to ask you guys these questions so that I'll give you some time to answer them in chat, and then I'll give you mine, and we could just have some fun and just bounce it back and forth, because I feel like these have a lot of good questions that could just be fun. And this first question is like a movie related question. So it says, if you could watch any movie tonight, what would it be, and who would you watch it with? So if this was a movie night, right? Like saying if that's actually not a bad idea, right? There's so many options with Discord, so there's things that could be done like that. But if you were gonna watch a movie, who would it be with, and what movie would it be? Right? That's the whole question. All right, hold on. All right. Charles is saying I got to change that Budweiser to a Monster. I mean, the Monster to a Budweiser. That's what he was saying. Because, yes, that's what I'm drinking, a Monster. Well, you guys know me. So, I'm waiting to see your responses here in chat. I would have to say the person that I would watch any movie with right now is Aiden. I am lucky that I have him at my disposal to watch. I wish, like, which movie would it be? Whichever movie he desires, right? Like, it would be whichever movie that he would actually stay with me for more than like 10 minutes, because he's a boy, so even though he would want to watch stuff with me, he's gonna be easily distracted with his toys, with whatever it is. So with that being said, I would love to watch a movie with Aiden and have him watch the whole movie. That would be the whole thing. That would be awesome. Charles Richard says Doctor Strange. Gretchen says the Dark Crystal with my grandkids. I've never seen that movie. That's very interesting. I'm gonna get a lot of good responses today of movies to watch. Thomas the Tank Engine with my grandson. See, that's Sly's on the same boat with me. Just spending some quality time with the youngins, with the little ones. Paul Duncan saying Maestro and I watch movies. That's cool. Says I love watching movies, but I have no movie partner. Well, you see, Paul's got his cat, so I think do you have any pets, Charles? Might be something that you could get into, because that's actually one of the questions that we have here that we're gonna get into, I guess, a little bit later. So I guess the next question here would be, which movie plot twist blew your mind? So, like, I'm big, camera junkies. We're talking, I guess, keeping a little bit within the same premise, but talking movies. Which is a movie that you remember that, like, blew your mind as far as the plot twist, and not only the plot twist, but like almost like the cliffhanger, because I cannot remember the name of the movie, and that's why it's driving me crazy, and I didn't have enough time to IMDb the name of the movie while I was actually looking up these questions. Give me 1 second. It's a movie with Ed Norton Jr. and Richard Gere. I think that's Richard Gere. Richard Gere was the lawyer, and he was defending Ed Norton on a murder trial. And the entire premise of his defense was that he had a split personality, and he won the case. He won the entire movie was him trying to show the jury that this person was a good, upstanding citizen, but had like a split personality, that caused him to do something drastic, but he had a fractured mind. The plot twist in this movie was that at the end, when Richard Gere actually was successful in, relieving him of the charges, he met with him in the cell and was then informed that the dark person, the dark evil person of the split personality, was the one that was actually the one in control, not the innocent bystander, sort of like good citizen. So it was a really interesting movie, because Ed Norton at the end of the movie just kind of like blew the bubble on his own lawyer, because he was like, what, you believe the character of that nice guy? Like, I'm the worst thing ever. Like, oh man, I played such a good fool that I fooled my own lawyer. So it was a really good movie, and that one was one that always left me like, I was like, awesome job. I'm gonna have to look it up, because I'm seeing some movies here, like Paul is saying, would be The Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense was great as well. The Sixth Sense, once the entire, the entire storyline comes into play. That was a great movie. So yes, Melanie's saying the same thing. The Sixth Sense blew her mind too. So it says, what Brian's fraud epic with Jim Henson paired the Dark Crystal with the Labyrinth and then added the never-ending story. Okay, I gotta read this again. So okay, it says what? Brian's fraud epic with Jim Henson paired the Dark Crystal with the Labyrinth and then add never-ending story. So I believe there was 3 movies there, which is, I guess, Brian's fraud with the Dark Crystal. Oh, 4, Labyrinth, because Labyrinth actually was a great movie. Oh, you're taking me back to those days, right? Never-ending story. Those are great 80s movies. And that's a whole nother conversation, because I think that movies, they kind of peaked at 1999. And 1999 was like the peak of movies when it came to storylines. And we were moving into a whole new world of cinematography with the Jet Li movies. The Matrix came out, and then everything after Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon had people like either flying around or something extremely dramatic. So it was like we went well off the deep end when it came to basing things in reality. But that's also why I still like The Matrix, because the reason why they implemented people flying around was because it was a computer program, not based in reality. So it still gave it a sense of reality, even though they were doing unrealistic things. Okay. So Jordan Peele's movie Us. So good. Wow. Okay, so I believe the movie was called Us. Because didn't he make a scary movie as well? I think he did. So, Charles says, I say the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code was the plot twist? Or that blew your mind? I like the Da Vinci Code. I never had a problem with it, but I guess because they left those stories open-ended for sequels, that just always kind of feels like, there's certain movies that they're just leaving it open-ended for that like hypothetical sequel movie. Like there was a movie, I think it was one of the Taken movies. I think it was like Taken 2, where it was like the guy was there like, hey, you know what? If you let me go, it's over. It ends here. And then he just like drop kicks the guy and he dies. And then he's like, it's never over because we need the 3rd sequel. So it's just movies, man. Another movie is The Prestige. Yes, that's a great movie. I actually love The Prestige, and that's another great plot twist. Okay, we have Stephen J2 here saying, happy birthday. Sixth Sense was too obvious very quickly. I wanted to shout in the movie theater. You see? That's pretty good. There's certain movies that I feel are like that are just like but I'll tell you the truth. The Sixth Sense was pretty good. The Sixth Sense was like one that I wasn't expecting that. But I also think that has to do with the direction of the movie as well. If you're in tune with the story, I guess you can see it, because that's the only thing that the kid was seeing. But I think they did a good job, in the direction of the movie, that they directed it towards the child and not so much Bruce Willis, as kind of he was being the narrator. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Us was the name of the movie. Yeah, Get Out was also his movie. Yeah, thank you, Melanie. Get Out was the one that I was thinking, that I was like, that one was where he actually put his name like in the industry. Very low budget and did very well in the box office. When there were still box offices. Says, that's my trifecta of movies, says Gretchen. Labyrinth, Dark Crystal were produced by Jim Henson, and Brian Fraud was the designer of the puppets. My father is calling me, but he forgets that I'm live streaming. So that's family. It says, I agree, Melanie, and also The Illusionist. I haven't seen The Illusionist. Oh, and we have Carlos here saying, happy birthday, dude. More beautiful with age, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go to the next one. Let's go away from movies. Let's go something else. Okay, this one I could put here to the group, right? Because it's part of the Camera Junkies. This is a good question. It says, do you get frustrated by people who are less tech savvy than you are? Because that's a very interesting question. So let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to repeat the question. Do you get frustrated by people who are less tech savvy than you are? And I'm going to answer this by saying not anymore. I used to, and I think that was when I was a lot younger. But then it got to the point where I was actually helping my own mother with a lot of technology. And as frustrating as that could have been and was, at the same time, it also taught me how to teach and how to be patient to someone like your mother. So once I was able to then transition that onto, like educating people with their own technology when I was doing either computer repairs, phone repairs, things like that, and they don't know what's wrong with their computer, and I'm trying to analogize something so that they can better understand the things that are really needed, then that's when I actually became really good at breaking things down into like layman's terms, which is when I think something that I do very well now. So Paul says sometimes. Gretchen says not really. Sly also says not even a little bit. I'm actually amazed when I know more than someone else. That's the funny thing, Sly, because there's gotten times where I've been around technology for so long, and mostly in the computer side, that I used to, type in code in DOS. That's like, going way back, and now I literally know that I've forgotten more than most people have ever known. So it's pretty interesting, to the level that we're at now. But like I said, the frustration was mostly with. I'm also gonna be honest. The frustration was also mostly at the beginning with my mother, right? Like, cause I would tell her something and it just wouldn't like stick, right? And so that was where the frustration got. With my mom, it actually turned out to the point where everything, like every step that I would take to explain anything for her to do so that she can replicate it on her own, she had a notepad where she would actually write every step down. And when I started seeing like how she was writing down the steps, it then taught me how to then reproduce every significant step so that there's no confusion and there's like an itemized list of like that you could replicate. So that's funny. Says, I remember the days of mom on the computer. Dude, my mom ended up surpassing me in so many things. She got into like these what is it, Jasic Paint Shop Pro, and she got into like Facebook groups and things like that. She became a moderator for a lot of these groups doing these things, and it's very interesting. But one of her best friends there still messages me on Facebook, and today even wished me a happy birthday. So it's super interesting. But my mom was dealing with like 600 emails a day. 600 emails a day. I was like, what is going on here? So that's where like my mom ended up becoming very computer savvy. And then, like I said, then I learned my lessons and I use them to pay it forward. It says, once my mom managed to duplicate her system folder 5 times. Oh, that must have been interesting. At work, yes. I help core workers poor at Windows basics. Super interesting. Watch it, Paul says. I'm a mom on the computer. Nice. Says my son and I have a team viewer for the PC and we do Zoom calls for the Mac. Nice. Why isn't it coming up? There we go. That's what I had just read. Says I can usually explain something about 3 times, then I start to get frustrated, says Kevin. It says we all just remember that there's always something to learn, a different way to approach tech. Just like your mom unknowingly taught you how to be patient and teach. That's very true. All right, so let's check another question here. Ooh, this one's easy. iPhone or Android? So I'll give you a second to put it in there. I can give you my thoughts on this right off the bat. iPhone, Apple, Mac, Apple, ecosystem, Apple. But the reason why I'm iPhone over Android has nothing to do with this, but has to do 100% with battery life. Now, I would also like to get your thoughts on that while you're letting me know whether you're Android or iPhone. But I can honestly tell you that I've experienced both, and being in the phone repair field doing these types of work, me utilizing my phone all day, every day, definitely was not conducive to an Android type of life, because just the battery, the battery life, how I can use the phone all day, and then how can I say, it would just stay on. I tried to go to Android. I remember I went to Disney one time, so I wasn't using it for work and just taking photos. I think by the middle of the day, my phone was dead and I couldn't do anything else with it. So right then and there, when I was trying it at Disney, is when I switched back to my iPhone and just kind of been iPhone ever since. And that's been years. So not that I actually haven't given them a fair shake within years, but ever since that, it's not like iPhone is bad at battery life. So because they continue to innovate and they stay at the forefront of that, is why I just can't leave this system, because I just need it to work. I've gotten to the point, I remember when I was young, the cars that I wanted, you would spend the time souping them up and putting all this extra energy and effort. And now as an older adult, all I care about is that it turns on, is good on gas, and it gets me to where I need to go. So with that being said, right, it's just the different needs that you ask for. And right now I'm at that point where I just need the phone to work, have good battery life, and the iPhone fits the bill. All right, so let's see what you guys are also saying over here. All right, so we got iPhones across the board. We have Sly. Let's go. There we go. Sly. We have Kevin as well. We have Paul. See, what's an Android? That's funny. Okay, so we have Gretchen also saying iPhone. Okay, we have Steven. Steven's saying Android since 2010. So which Android are you rocking right now? That's a good question. Says we have room for you. Paul is inviting you over to the dark side. It said yesterday I would have said iPhone, but we just purchased an Android to replace our landline. Nice. Okay, but this is just a question, so this is just to open up the conversation. It says forgot to change my phone last night. I still have 21 to charge. Is that what it says? Yes. Forgot to charge my phone last night, and I still have 21% left on my 13 Pro Max right now. And that's true. I have the 11 Pro Max, and those even hold even more. So I had a couple of years with Nokia Symbian. I'm not sure because I haven't seen a Nokia in years. Was that before 2010? It had to have been. Because when was the last time that Nokia came out with a system? It says, I'm team hybrid. I like both. More the more I know, the better I can explain to my viewers. Nice. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, I still have Android devices, but they're tablets. That's where I stay in touch with, the Android side. But I've also lost touch on the Android side. I'm not gonna front. AirDrop is a game changer, especially as a creator. Dude, you know what else is a game changer? Check this out. Right there, right there, right there. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's not giving it to me right now? Maybe so. But you know what? This. Right there. That's Discord on my Mac Mini. And that's where I have it set up here. And with universal control, that allows you to switch back and forth. So right now I'm going from my Mac Studio here over to my Mac Mini over here. And this is where I have, just so that you know, Paul, as a moderator, I have Discord open on this side for the moderator channels. Also Kevin and John, who are part of that. If you want to hop in there and send me messages, I'm going to be keeping that open for future reference. But we will go ahead. It says, yeah, so he was saying 2005 to 2010 he was rocking that Nokia. That's nice. All right, let's see here. Oh, okay. This is one thing about universal control, that it does not allow you to scroll up and down when you're changing it. So let's say my mouse is on the Mac Studio here, right up front. If I were to move the mouse over, and it's just the mouse, so it's the Logitech. I doubt that the Apple mouse gives any problems, but the Logitech, once it goes over, I can no longer scroll up and down. It's very interesting. I can do it with my trackpad and Apple devices, but good to go. All right. All right, so let's see. So Kippy's saying hey to me. What's up, Kippy? All right. Albert saying, does the Nokia have an antenna walkie-talkie style? I used to have a BlackBerry from Nextel. Ooh, that's going way back, and that's going around 1999. That just took me back, and that thing had an antenna, but man, I used to get reception inside of elevators. I would just be like, hello, bloop, bloop. Oh, I remember the bloop, bloop from Nokia. That just took me back. Question: when do you think they'll totally go 5G and drop 4G? My phone will be obsolete when they do. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. So you don't have to worry if that's what you're thinking, that your phone will be obsolete, because even right now, your phone has the ability to go to 4G, and just because they have 5G doesn't mean that they're totally killing the 4G networks. It's like right now, I have fiber optic internet, yet there's still rural areas of the United States that are still using dial-up. So it just depends on where you're at, how you utilize it, and if you want it, you still have the ability to get a lesser type service. And the thing that will most likely happen is that once everyone jumps onto 5G, 4G is going to be less populated and probably run smoother. It's kind of like being stuck in a traffic jam on 95, yet if you're on the same stretch of road at 2 o'clock in the morning on 95, there's no cars, and it's like all systems go. So it really depends on that. And I remember that's exactly what happened. Turn of the century, excuse me. Because I used to have Sprint service, and I hated Sprint's billing. So when Sprint shafted me on my bill for the last time, I left, and I went with Nokia, not Nokia, with Nextel. And the thing is that time was when NASCAR was really big. It was the number one sport in the country, and they moved from the Nextel Cup to the Sprint Cup because Sprint bought Nextel. And as soon as they bought Nextel, I was like, I don't know, because I was doing everything to move myself away from Sprint as a corporation because of their billing issues. And just like I called it, the next month, like as soon as the transaction was over, my bill was screwed up. They were trying to charge me double all this extra amount. I called them up and I was like, time to go, I'm leaving. And there was so many people that were just like doing a mass exodus from Nextel that they were trying to retain every type of person. I was like, no, like you already messed me up. Like on my first month, I gave you the chance, and Sprint came in here and just already started messing with my, like with my bill, that they ended up leaving me in a retention program where I was getting like everything for like $50. And that started my life on like, prepaid plans. I've gone from Metro PCS to just every other carrier. By the time that I moved over to them, was a fully inclusive plan, and I haven't dealt with minutes or things like that ever since. I remember when we used to get like rollover minutes on our cell phones. Man, they used to just mess with us so bad. Anyways, let's check what's going on in the chat. I went off on a rant there for 4 or 5G. All right. Says Kevin says, I have not tried doing the universal control things. That's a keyword yet. Yeah, but the universal control is amazing when it comes to transferring files and doing everything like that, and you just need to search something else up. The other thing is that because of it and the program compressor, one thing that I've noticed is that I believe, and I'm looking into it, I believe there's a way to actually utilize both processors, or basically both computers, when I am exporting or rendering my Final Cut files, which is very, very interesting. The fact that it's taking the processing duties and transferring a portion of them over to the Mac Mini, so that it's just kind of like helping out complete the task to actually even render it faster, which is like, so amazing. All right. Holding at number 39. Not sure what that is. Says, just remember some folks are still rocking 8 tracks. Really? It says, used Nokia E-Series smartphones with keyboards. Good for email, not so good for browsing. Those are probably like the competitors to the Palm Pilots even back then. What was your first phone? Nokia 3310. I think that's it. But okay, let me tell you how far back I go with cell phones. Because I've just been around the technology always. So I remember before AT&T was AT&T, when they were singular. Before T-Mobile was called T-Mobile, they were called Voice Stream. I believe when they first hit the market, they were called Voice Stream. And I think that was my first cell phone. My friend was like, yo, I can get you a good deal on the phone. And it was like one of those first beginner Nokias. I used to call it the Lego phone, because you would drop it and it would fall into like 8 different pieces. You'd have the keyboard with the little rubber number pads over here, and then the cover over there, and then the back battery with the battery cover, and then it was just a centerpiece. And I had that thing. Was that my first? Man, I can't even think, because was that the first one that I had? Because then there was the other one, which is the StarTAC. That one was from Radio Shack. I've had so many phones. I'm like, I just went down like technology lane. I was like, man, I don't know the timeline. But I think the first one was that Nokia. After that, then that's when things started getting more advanced with flip phones. Yes, and the StarTAC was was years after that. Excuse me. So yeah, that was very very interesting. Oh man, the memory lanes of the cell phones. So it says mine was in the early to mid 80s. So you see, you probably have that what we call the Saved by the Bell phone, the Zach Morris phone with the antenna. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a phone today with an antenna like that? You'd be able to like get a call from like anywhere. Like I'll be like, with an antenna like that, you can get a call from like you could be in a submarine in the depths part, or what is it, in the Mariana Trench, and you'd be like, hold up, I need to get this. Like, I was talking about, I was happy of getting phone calls in the elevator, but that the Saved by the Bell phone, oh please, that will get you a phone call anywhere you need right now. Sly says my first cell phone was a bag phone by Motorola. I'm pretty sure that was back in the late 80s. A bag phone. Wow, so I'm guessing that was just in your purse because it was like pretty big, but it was still portable enough because it didn't have wires. Says, yep, in the mid 80s. That's so interesting. The first wireless call was in 1972, FYI, and I believe that was in Verizon in New York. Nano's laughing, Saved by the Bell. Yeah, we all know that Saved by the Bell. Is it Zach Morris phone? That's all right. Let's see. Okay, here's another one, food related. The question is, Hot Pockets or pizza rolls, and why? So that's the question that I put to you guys right now. So what do you prefer, Hot Pockets or pizza rolls? And I'm just gonna have to say, I'm team pizza rolls. Like, not that Hot Pockets are a thing, but you know, we have to pick one or the other, and I'm gonna go team pizza rolls because they're more convenient, and I can't stand that it's like impossible to keep the filling inside of the Hot Pocket. In the Hot Pocket, it's like you lose everything of the pocket. You get a hot hollow because half of the contents of the Hot Pocket has spilled out into the napkin or whatever it is that you have it on that while you're trying to heat it up in the microwave. So I just find that Hot Pockets are impossible, and as a like movie going snack, I can do some pizza rolls. You understand? Pop a couple in my mouth, and those are a lot more doable than the Hot Pockets. Oh, Gretchen says neither. That's not how it works. It's one or the other. It's just like the lesser of both evils, right? Says one thing people never asked when you answered the phone before cell phones is where that's true. Where are you at? Because everybody knew we were on landlines. If you answered the phone at my house, you knew I was at my house. Right? Because it was like literally there, like, hey, what's up? Where you at? Like, you called the house. It's stuck to a cable to the wall, and I'm now stuck to the other end. Absolutely. What I find funny is that now, right, with all this technology, you have so many contacts in your smartphone that you can't remember a phone number for the life of you. Like, remembering 7 digits or 10 digits with an area code, forget it. Yet as a child, I remember being able to remember people's phone numbers because there was a lot less phones, right? You were remembering just a person's house. It was like an address. So just like you had an address, you had a cell phone number, and you would call the home to contact anyone within it. That's why it was a lot easier. Now with contacts and that, like, I can't remember. But the funny thing is that I do remember a lot of my childhood phone numbers still till this day. So there's phone numbers that I dialed so many times when I was a kid that I still remember that phone number till today. Gretchen says, nope, I'm not going to choose neither. John says the same thing. Well, we already know the crowd is not Hot Pockets or pizza rolls here. Says pizza rolls since you put it like that. That was just my thing, right? Says, I'm going to come to Yellowstone and bring pizza rolls, says Paul Duncan. Says, I miss the days of having to be home and to get the phone call sometimes. I kind of do miss that as well, man. Just the fact when you would say, like, I'm out, literally meant I'm out, right? Like, just, hey. And people be like, hey, I need to speak to Lewis. And be like, he's not here. And I would be like, damn. And that was it. I was like, leave a message? Nah. Because by the time that he gets it, it's not even going to be worth a damn. So just forget it. All right, bye. Click. Oh, what about the fact that you could actually, like, have the satisfaction, right, of, like, hanging up on somebody and physically just, like, slamming a phone, like, onto the wall? Oh, like, those are the things, like, today's kids, right, they will never know the satisfaction of smacking a television on the side to get it to work. It's just there's like, there's a certain thing about that, like, where you couldn't get a signal, you're like, hey, and you just smack the side of it and image is correct and you're like, football, all right, let's go. So you can never get that with a plasma. You touch it sideways and you broke the LCD and it's like, oh, new TV. Let's go. All right. Oh, that was funny. Says remembering a phone nowadays is a struggle, right? What about, like, I grew up in Puerto Rico. Like, I grew up with rotary phones over there. Like, I saw a video of kids today trying to use a rotary phone. Had no idea. Just could not put it together. Could not. For the life of them. For the life of them. It was just such an interesting video. Okay. Growing up, we had 5-digit phone numbers for local calls. Wow, that is literally like an address. That's just like, oh my God, remembering 5 digits? Yeah, there's... Okay, so Albert's here saying Feliz cumpleaños, happy birthday. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Says, yes, Sly, CR24222. That was the phone number. He's literally giving the phone. Paul, that was amazing. Oh my God, that's so funny. He's like, remember, yeah, like, I thought, Paul, you go way back. I thought it would have been like 00001. Says we had party lines when I was a kid. Oh man, let's not even get, like, some people got into the whole party line things. That's hilarious. Says rotary phones was a pain in the butt dialing. Says okay. Says aluminum foil on the rabbit ears. Kevin says he's a pizza roll fan. Pizza rolls or pizza bagels, says Kevin. I would have to say those pizza bagels. I remember having those as a kid, and those were fun. Says I found dialing the rotary dial when talking to someone and the sound. Oh man, this is so much fun, guys, because this is even before me. It says my husband was EM28109. Wow, that's so dope that you actually like remember your husband's number from like back then. That's so cool. It says reminds me of binary code. You see, Paul says the same thing. I can't remember a phone number today, but I can remember that phone number. Exactly. Like it's just something about the age and the time that we were in. I think we just had less things to remember in general. So these things was just they were just more prominent. All right, so let's do one more question, and I think that will be it for tonight. I pulled out so many questions, and this went a lot faster than what I expected. Let's see what we have here. Okay. This is a good one. Television type question as well. The question says, oh, come on, Siri. If you could bring back any canceled TV series, which TV show would you choose to bring back? So I'll give you, some time to put that into the chat. Going to repeat the question. If you could bring back any canceled TV series, which TV show would you choose to bring back? I'm going to have to say, and let me know if anyone has even seen this series, because it would be very interesting. I believe it was the Sci-Fi Channel. And the Sci-Fi Channel had a television series called Alphas. Like the Sony Alphas. Very funny, right? But yeah, there were Alphas. And it was basically, like a spin-off of your traditional take on superheroes. But it was more based on people who had, particular abilities. And they were all gathered by the government, right, to basically just give them a purpose. And if I just ran for like 2 seasons and then they just canceled it, so it was a more recent show, but very good. And I think that just didn't get the backing that it was. I think it just had a great premise. So yeah, I think it was the Sci-Fi Channel. Could be wrong on the channel, but the name of the show was called Alphas, and I think they had a very good cast. All right, so let's see what you got over here. Okay, I was just gonna get to that, John. So yeah, Cities Gaw is next. So he just says that he was in the Discord and he just peeked into Cities Gaw. That's coming right up after we get through these. So thank you for reminding me. Golden Girls, says Paul Duncan. Golden Girls is awesome. That was just a show that I used to love watching. I could tell you, like, I was into television production, filmmaking, and all this stuff when I was in school. So I was constantly keeping up with like all of that, and my personal aspirations for trying to be a stand-up comedian and the love that I have for that as well also led me to a lot of Saturday Night Lives, Carol Burnett's, Mama's Family. Oh my God, that was one of the funniest shows because it was such a great spin-off from Carol Burnett, and just so much amazing talent. So many great shows. Steven says Mission Impossible. That's you going way back. It's like, okay, so Dark Shadows. That sounds very familiar because I think I've seen that one. So now I'm trying to remember. Oh, John says the A-Team. Sense 8 would be my number one. That says Paul. Okay, I've never heard of that one. So you see, I'm gonna have a good amount of stuff to look up once the stream is done. I'm gonna have a blast on my birthday. Says I can't bring back my favorite Everybody's Dead or so that they couldn't remember their own lives. Come on, Sly.
That was not the whole thing, you know. Like I bet the same could be said about a lot of the A team right now as well. So, but take it all with the grain of salt. Excuse me. Gretchen is saying to Steven that was a great choice. This is very true. Monty Python's. Oh, like now we can get into comedy, please. MacGyver's a great choice. MacGyver, but they actually remade MacGyver. They actually brought that series back with new cast members. So I would agree with you in bringing back the old MacGyver, but you know what? Like, not to pick on you because I guess it's just MacGyver's like such a like such a personal thing with me, right? Like I used to love MacGyver, like Mr. Fix It, right? Or Mr. Camera Junkie. I just do everything, take things apart. Just okay. So MacGyver was like my thing, and I go to rewatch MacGyver now, and I watch these episodes, and I'm like, oh, they're just borderline unwatchable. They are. Like I criticize them so bad because we've come so far in television production and film from those days that now to see that like I people start talking about like childhood cartoons, I almost can't watch them. Like I start watching He-Man and I'm like, oh man, this was just like it was the best that we had at the moment, right? And there's certain things that do bring nostalgia to me, but a lot of them I still cannot get past my critical eye of today. And I look at them and I'm like, oh my god, like this is what they were producing on television, and we were like, it's the best, and kind of wasn't, So so back in the day, MacGyver, like I tried to watch some of those episodes today, and they don't hold water. They remade the series, and I also didn't like it too much. So, Red Skeleton Hour. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Steven says I'm going to be 67 and retire soon. Well, congratulations on the retirement soon. Thank you for letting me know your age as well. That's dope because it just gives me an idea, like where, like what generations you grew up in, and that's just like I used to love having these conversations with my mom, especially her upbringing of being very young in Puerto Rico, which was also, like a country that was delayed when it came to technology. So she would tell me stories about going to the grocery store with a nickel, getting like groceries, right, for like the week. And then they would hand them 3 pennies back and tell them that like there's no way to give them half a penny, so they still have like half a penny on credit to come back to get more stuff. That was like so like that was my mom's upbringing. Kevin says the old Johnny Quest stuff, like the original, not the remake. Yeah, because they remade some of these things that just don't really hold up. Oh, Sly says Scooby Doo, my favorite cartoons. Yeah, Scooby Doo is great. Very it's like you say, like you watch them now and you know what's coming, but I still have to say that Scooby Doo is one of those ones that still hold its weight. Like what's coming because every episode is very similar to the previous, but it's still it's still a good still a good fun. It says Mr. Wizard was my favorite. I don't think that does not ring a bell, Kevin. So I will have to check that out. Hopefully the picture just triggers something because you start thinking about Inspector Gadget and so many things that I went through. So there's a Monty Python multi-part documentary running on Netflix. Ooh, I gotta check that out. What just happened? Boop, boop. Oh, thank you, sir. Dr. Elo, I guess. Yep, Dr. Elo's here. Thank you very much for the birthday gift. I highly appreciate it. Sir, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I utilize that for a gift because it's something that I don't do myself, right? You know, I barely I barely treat myself, so I need always try to make sure to set things aside. So I highly appreciate it, and I'm going to make sure that I use that for my birthday. So thank you very much, sir. Says Johnny Quest was the best. Says Gretchen. Slice says, I just entered my 6th decade this week. Feels weird to say I'm 60. Well, once again, it was your birthday not too long ago, and I'm going to re-wish you a happy birthday. And I think that's amazing. I met you, so I know for a fact that you're doing great for 60. So like, you're amazing. You're kayaking, you're traveling the country, you're doing road trips, you're making the most of your everyday, and I absolutely love it. So once again, happy birthday and congratulations. Fireball 500 with the Muppets was great. So I'm not sure with the puppets was great. I said Muppets. Fireball 500 with the puppets was great. See, I guess that's just too young for me. Sly, I got you by 6 years. Welcome to the club. Says Fall. Says Mr. Wizard was like Bill Nye before Bill Nye. Not so much comedy, but science stuff. Awesome. Oh, thank you very much. Sly, thank you very much for the birthday gifts. I highly appreciate it, people. I really do. Like I said, I actually did something that I never do, right? Which was, I actually got, like, for me to treat myself, it has to be a necessity as well. So I guess that's just the way that I work and try to, like, associate things, because I never just splurge on anything. So something that I've had for a long time are these headphones. And these are the Sony's, not even the H1000s. These are the H900s before the 1000s. And they're good headphones, and I've had them for a long time, but I've already been trying to maximize them as much as possible. Like, let me go to my overhead to show you, like, they're actually, like, splitting here, and that's not nothing new, because if you look around, I've already been crazy gluing these these headphones, and just to try to keep the stitching together so that I can continue to use them. So because they were on their last legs, I was able to speak with Mr. Tom Buck, because he had just done a headphone review, and I was in the market, and I picked up the new Rhodes. Now, these are mostly to do with the fact that I've been doing so much editing as of late. And the more editing I'm doing, I've been getting something that I've never dealt with before, which is like ear fatigue, which is just having like that extra just pressure from them being on. And because the Sonys, not the Bose, the Sonys are noise canceling, they kind of give you that extra added pressure, if you know what I'm talking about when you're dealing with noise cancellation. So it wasn't that was kind of the biggest reason why I wasn't using them, and I was actually using my AirPods more than anything. So I was in the market, and I decided to pull the trigger and get these at the beginning of the month, and that was my birthday present to myself. So like I said, it still needed to have like a legitimate reason. Like, it had to be like something that I needed for me to even pull the trigger. So like I said, thank you very much. I highly appreciate it. I'll make sure that I will dedicate that to getting something for myself to kind of just splurge, because it's my birthday. I should do it, and I never do it. So I thank you all in helping me do that. So all right, so Dr. Elo's here. So Okay, so everyone's talking about being over 60, saying Paul and I are 60 here, the welcoming committee, says Gretchen. And then Steven says that I still never use my senior citizen discount, but soon, I guess. Why isn't it popping up? There you go. And now we have two messages on there. What is happening here? That's what's supposed to happen. There you go. Boom. All right. All right, we're just past the hour. Everyone, as always, I want to thank you for taking this time and spending it here with me. Like, this live stream is, it's like my favorite place to be every week. So I thank you so very much for taking the time and spending it here with me. Yeah, you guys are awesome. So I just, like, I'm just blown away because I am, guys. I can't even tell you that. Just the couple of gifts that was just sent my way just have me reflecting, and I'm just like just speechless almost right now. And that's, I'm just so appreciative because I would have never thought any of this go a year ago today, right? Like last year's birthday. It's just, you guys are amazing and you guys make all of this worth it. So once again, thank you as always for taking the time and spending it here with me. I cannot show you more gratitude because it just means the world to me. And with that being said, I just want to invite you to do it all over again next week, because next week will be week number 77 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream, and we're going to be hanging out. What we're going to be talking about, I don't know. We're going to figure it out sometime this week, but we're always going to have fun. We're going to talk cameras, and as always, if you have any questions, make sure that you just like leave them in there so that I can get to them. And yeah, and that's where we're gonna leave it. So once again, thank you. You guys are amazing. You guys rock, and I can't wait to see you next week. So with that being said, have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Put it over here. Okay. Are you guys still here? Because this is like 2 weeks in a row. like yeah, like I did it a couple of weeks ago, and John just mentioned it because it's City's Gall. So let's do it. Thank you for still being here because you guys are freaking amazing. Okay, City's Gall, just to do the rundown, channels that I think you should go and watch. And like John said, today's City's Gall is none other than Senor Harry Mack. Harry Mack is a freestyle rapper, and I wanted to bring him on today because he wasn't so much about cameras, and I'm just gonna bring him up because he is someone that I actually watch as far as entertainment goes. I think this is someone who is extremely, and I mean extremely talented. This dude is able to come up with basically fully mastered music on the spot, and he's doing it all while he's giving you a rundown of what either you're wearing or the words that you actually are giving him. And he started with, like with asking people just give me 3 random words, and then he's done it so much where he's evolved where those standard words are just too easy for him, and now he's asking for the most eccentric and just like comprehensive words to actually just continue to perfect his craft. And I'm telling you, this guy is an inspiration because he's doing it like I've mentioned here before, Air Fryer Emporium. So many people have mentioned to him, because of his talent, that he should go like mainstream, like he should be signed by a big recording label, and he stayed clear of that like life or that contract work, and he's been able through this platform, YouTube, and quite others, because he's also on TikTok and everywhere else as far as social media platforms go. But this dude is actually doing it his own way. He's able to actually go on tour right now throughout the United States and utilize the improv theaters to actually create like his own live show and sell tickets for his shows strictly for him, completely bypassing the standard music record label system that has existed before. There's other rappers like J. Cole who have done it themselves and shown that they're able to create their own production companies utilizing these platforms just because they have their own following. And this guy is so talented that right now, where is he at? He's about to reach 2 million subscribers. I've been watching him for well over a year, and this guy is able to produce high quality content week in, week out. He's amazing, and he doesn't cease to amaze me with the talent, like with what he's able to come up with. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. When it comes to entertainment value, I think this is like a golden ticket. I wish I had something like this, because this is almost like the ultimate rewatchability when it comes to YouTube. And I know it because I've done it myself plenty of times. I've gone and I go right over here to the playlist. Let me see if I can click onto it here, as what you guys are seeing. I click onto the playlist, and my favorite is the one that, where are they? The Gorilla Bars. Right here. There's 66 episodes. See the full list. Omegle Bars. This is how I found Harry Mack. Just amazing. Just amazing what he's able to do. And just to give you a quick rundown of what this actually is, because I had never heard of this program called Omegle prior to this. And it was just the simple fact that it's a like networking program where you're able to do a FaceTime call with random people. Kind of, it's very weird, right? And I'll let you know because I never heard of it, but it's almost like speed dating, but just trying to have a conversation. And I guess during the pandemic, this became very popular again, even though it was an app that had come out years before that. I found that out when I mentioned this to my nephew, and he was like, Omegle, man, that's like so old. And I was like, well, I just heard about it now, and it was because of Mr. Harry Mack, and he connects with people via FaceTime and asks them for the questions on the spot. And while he's in the chat is when he'll be able to start doing the freestyle rap right there live for them. And he decided to do this during the pandemic for the simple reason that he didn't have the ability to go out and do it live for people like he had been doing it on the beaches of Venice in California. And now he's actually went on tour, and he's got videos up where he's doing what he calls the Gorilla Bars in Miami Beach, in New York, Nashville, and he's just toured the country and created content while he was doing his live streams. I mean, not his live streams, his performances throughout the country. So once again, Harry Mack is someone that, like I said, I can rewatch this playlist over and over again. It's great, and because it's music, you're able to just put it on in the background and just enjoy it. And like I said, that's like the epitome of rewatchability. Amazing content. So if you haven't checked it out, channels that I think you should go and watch, definitely Harry Mack is one of them. And for those 9 of you who are still here hanging out, I highly appreciate it. Thank you, Paul, once again for keeping me on track with the city's Gaw. I did it for Sydney, and now I did it for Harry Mack. I need to make sure that I need to do it earlier in my set to make sure that I get it out of the way. So Maybe I should start with that. We'll see how we work things out. But as always, thank you all for still taking even this extra time to spend here with me, and as I let you know about Harry Mack and the channels that I think you should go and watch. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you for everything, guys. I'm just like so overwhelmed and just super ecstatic. Just that every week I have all you amazing people here to hang out with. I am truly, truly blessed, and I am forever grateful. So thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna go spend the rest of my night with my amazing boy Aiden. Let me go ahead and see what he's doing right now. Let's check out the Aiden cam. I was trying to add the Aiden cam, but he's gonna be in the rotation, I think, for next week. Buddy, just hanging out there. So yep, I'm gonna make sure to put that in the rotation so that he's part of the mix always. Something that Peter Gregg mentioned to me, and I think that I'm going to implement. So as always, guys, thank you for the time. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to see you next week. Have a great night. See you then.